So I'm very happy to be talking with Larry Love today, the author of The Healing Culture. Thank you for being with us today, Larry.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great journey. Thank you for all your support.
Oh, thank you. It's been a joy on my end to work with you as well. And can you tell us a little bit about the work that you are doing now in Hartford?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a dad, first of all. I'm a dad, a brother, a cousin, a godfather, an uncle, a friend. And the work I do, I'm the hospital response director for an agency called Compass Youth Collaborative here in Hartford. And in that role, we answer all the calls here in Hartford, but anybody is shot or impacted by a violent crime and then taken to a hospital here locally and treated there at the hospital. So Janet, myself, and Todd get these calls 24/7. Meet them at the hospital, and then we just do what we can to help them navigate that whole process, far as just the advocacy, the discharge plan. Then when they are discharged, I'm helping them out with that with those next steps. So it could be some physical health going on. Mental health, helping out with, with work or school and so forth. So that's that. And then we also have a brand of natural products where we make some all natural mango butter based creams,
Mm.
which is like meant to actually help your your skin heal and moisturize. And then we have these all natural teas as well, which you got to try the tea. It's a blend of just herbs and just fruits that it took a while to get the right blend down pack, but we finally got it, and it's a really good blend. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah. So and also PCT too.
Yes.
There's a movement here that's it's really not clothes. It's just the mindset, and I have it on shirts and hats and so forth. But to have folks, just recognize that there is a peace movement going on, and I'm all about it. So if you're about it too, then you can kind of wear it and advocate for that way as well too. So yeah, we got a few things going on in the city, but it's all good. It's all peace. It's all love.
Yes, I love the way I know you. I have the shirt that you gave me that has the different counties in the state, which is so lovely because it's like it takes all of us to
Yes,
bring peace into
yes,
our communities. And I love
exactly.
how in how that's included in the hat you're wearing and the shirts and all of the that piece PCT thing.
This
So yeah.
shirt I have on now is called Seek Therapy
Oh
by
yes, that is
yeah.
good too.
He's a brother in Hartford doing some great work in Hartford. So his name
Oh,
is
cool.
Maurice Eastwood. Nickname is Splash. So yeah. So just it's a whole culture, right? Of just
Yes.
different folks doing different things in different ways. So you got the cream and the tea and the
Hmm.
shirts and the shops and the books. And so it
Right.
looks a little different out here in our city, in our state. So really proud.
I love how you are both responding when people are in crisis and there's an emergency, and also looking at ways that you can help people heal in the day to day. Right.
Yeah. I was thinking about how much and how difficult it is to know how to begin, how to heal. And I'm 40 something now, but I just now learned how to actually, put these things into my life where I'm getting up now and I'm meditating and I'm taking some deep breaths, and just working on that journey of just how do you heal. So being able to offer ideas and tips to folks that I'm meeting on this journey, say, hey, you know what? If I can do it, you can do it as well too. So yeah, so just advocating for that all I can. Absolutely.
What inspired you to do this work?
You know, I can almost say the work kind of found me in a way. Because so being a kid from Hartford and seeing the good and the bad of the city of Hartford, I always knew that I wanted to do more and to be better. So as I was doing things that weren't right, I felt bad about that. So I've been doing this thing on one end, but still helping the mom, with her food and stuff like that. So, so I had a decent spirit, but I was still doing some difficult things. And I didn't really know how to do anything else. So I didn't know where to go to and say, hey, I want to do better. Help me be better.
Yes.
So I had started coaching probably about 20 years ago now, and that's when I learned and realized that there were some kids out here that really didn't have much, right? Didn't really have anybody to help them out to get from practice and get back home safely and stuff like that. So when I had saw that, I realized that there was something that I could do that could be helpful. And so that's how it got started pretty much. And then over the years I was seeing Compass around. I didn't really know what they were about. And I had some friends who were actually there as well. And I'm like, hey, you know what? So this guy here, I know him from the neighborhood. He's doing something good. I like that, right? And met them, and lo and behold, I had an interview here, got hired here, and then yeah, and then 7, 8 years now. I've been here now for almost 10 years now, off and on 10 years, and doing some great work. So the work kind of found me, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what had you bring this all together and put it into a book? What had you do that?
Yeah. So I tried to write the book for about 20 something years. I
Yeah.
kept doing it, right?
Right.
And I would like get to a certain part and I'll just stop and I'll break down. I'll try it again and stop and break down. Um, and just looking at the journey of my life, being able to see it go from where I was at, right? As this kid who was just trying to have a good time as a kid,
Mhm.
having a baby at a young age, dealing with drugs, seeing violence, and then getting to the place I'm at now. Not everyone gets to get through all that stuff and be here today, on this side of things, right? It could be different if I was still involved with the street life, but going through all that stuff and learning and growing to where now I can help and impact others. Um, and to put that in the book was something that I was hoping I can do. And it wasn't until I had met you actually that I was able to see that, okay, so it's actually possible. And then you had said something about not only me having a story, but having a story that can help others heal. That's when I was like, okay, that's it, right?
Mm.
Because me sharing my traumas and my pain, right, was like so hard to do, and I didn't know why I would share that. But then hearing that maybe there's somebody else who's also hurt, right, and having a hard time getting through their next step in life, and if this can help that one person begin to heal, then that's it. That's it. So so you actually helped me really see it. Um, I had the vision in my head, but I couldn't really see how it all made sense. But you really helped me kind of see it, and we talked for like about a half an hour on our first date. I was like, wow, like what was that? But yeah, yeah, that was
That
it.
means so much for me to hear, and I'm so glad that you persevered and put it to words to get your story out there, because it is hard to write, especially when you're writing about some of the traumatic things that you've been through and experienced. It's no wonder you stopped writing, like kept having, kept writing it and then stopping and then writing it and stopping. It's very normal for people that try to write their story to face that and go through that,
Yes.
you know? And so you talked in the book about how you realized you were raised, you had elements of your upbringing that were a healing culture, which
Yeah.
allowed you to heal when you through the different things. What do you think that takes up? What does it mean to have a healing culture?
Yeah, this is an awesome question because I think that in the book you can almost kind of see it as well, far as the different points in my life where there was somebody there that had enough love for me to help me out. So as I was being hurt, I wasn't always being hurt and then left to kind of like deal with it on my own. So having somebody around you that actually believes in you and wants to see you well. You may not see it in the moment, but then when you look back, you're like, wow, that teacher that, has said, because I had a speech problem in school, and she would say, Larry, you know what, take a break for now, right? And I walk outside and have a break because it was the reading session of the class, right? So, and then as I got older and meeting the friends I know now, that's kind of that stood by me all these years of me kind of hurting others and selling drugs and being a violent person early on, and they stood by me and said, hey, you know what, I'm your friend, I'm gonna love you anyway. And that's the culture I had that I was born around. And my mom and dad were able to kind of give me the best love that they knew, right? So, them also being, being involved in the street life, but they were able to say, hey, you know what, you have your own room, you have food to eat, you're going to school,
Hmm.
so that was helpful as well too. So just looking at all the key points in my life, and somehow, some way, I'm always meeting people in groups that's just so uh spiritually in tune with my spirit, right? So
Hmm.
good energies, good attitudes, and I love it. So, and to this day, I'm meeting some great folks. Look, I met you, right? And like
Right.
but like your energy is so vibrant and it's so helpful and healing in itself that it just kind of happens that way. So
Mm-hmm.
somehow, some way, I've been lucky enough to meet some great folks on this journey,
Hmm.
and it's an awesome feeling. Awesome.
And that's the energy that you bring, so you're attracted to, right? So, and a lot of people might know you through some of the music that you've created in life too. And I know that music has played a big role, both. I know that music has played a big role in your life and in your healing too. And can you talk a little bit about how that has helped and played that part?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for not judging me because I sent you a few songs and I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to go. She's probably going to say, you know what, I'm done.
I love it.
But yeah, but music is and has been a part of my life, So from break dancing and from beatboxing early on as a kid, to being a DJ and just kind of being at all the parties here in Hartford, and then rapping as well too. I was able to rap, and so rap gets a bad name, but the idea of a rap song is to be able to express your feelings and emotions in your own way,
Mm,
right? And my music had a wide range, so it'd be some club stuff, it'd be some drug stuff in there, and then it'd be this heartfelt, life song about my life and all I was singing, all right? So, um, music for me was my common ground. As difficult as the world was around me, I can go and DJ for hours, and I'll just be in
mm,
there just mixing songs and playing songs for hours. And in that time, my whole world was just was just safe, right?
yeah.
And probably shaking the building by having these speakers blaring, right? But yeah, but music, whether it been DJing, writing, rapping, poetry, dancing. I mean, music literally is a part of my world.
Mm.
So yeah.
And in the book, we do have some poetry and some prose and some hints at, and I think some of the chapter titles are also taken from your music as well. So it's woven
Happy you
throughout.
brought that up because
Yeah,
that was the secret that I was trying to put into the book, right? And
yeah,
just kind of having these little things in there that folks got to kind of read to see, right? But
yeah,
yeah, but the chapters are like, certain parts of the songs and certain, yeah, so
yeah,
so that's beautiful to see. I have
yeah.
another secret in the book too, but we'll talk about that later on probably.
Mhm. Yeah. So in the book, we have a foreword and an
Yeah,
afterword written by people that have made a big impact in your life and are wonderful people. I've gotten a chance to talk with them and just amazing folks, Dr. David Shapiro and Dr. Sarah Raskin. Can you talk a little bit about what it meant to you to have them write and what role they played in life for
absolutely.
you?
You know, not too sure how to properly capture the magnitude of Shapiro being someone that I know personally and also being in the book. This is a person that I was able to meet at the worst time of my life. And at that time, as I was injured, my mindset was that, if you're in the hospital, if you don't have the right insurance, then things don't go well for people like me. Um, Getting into the hospital, that night, everything that feels like death and like dying, that's what I felt, right? Just lack of breathing, hard time seeing, weakness, so I felt like, this was my last moment on this earth. Um, and got into the ED, got on the gurney, and I said to him, listen, thank you, but hug my mom for me and hug my kids for me, kind of wishing them all well, thinking that I'll be done. He said, you know what? You're gonna be okay. And after that, waking up and then, watching him kind of manage me how he did, right? Like everything that he said to me from that point forth, it just stuck, right? So,
Mm,
and he doesn't know it at the time that he's actually helping me heal during that time, right? So he's treating me fair and treating me decent. Um, and it was that care that helped me feel like, you know what, somebody do care, right? And so yeah, so in this field I'm in now, hospital violence field, there's these folks that's labeled as champions in the work. So uh David is a champion in the work, one.
mm,
But he like physically saved my life as well too.
mhm,
So watching people like him that's able to help victims of violent crimes, right, begin to heal just by him just being there alone. So having him be able to offer his part in the book where he's speaking about, the medical lens, like what's happening medically to your body. And also his like mindset on like him treating my family in a certain way, right? Like all that stuff matters in the healing process, and he just has it down packed. So having his vision of it all was huge because, um, me offering you my story is one thing, but now you can see, okay, well, medically this had to happen to get me here to begin to heal and so forth, and then Dr. Raskin, so anyone that meets her, right? I mean, it's an instant joy, instant love. She just kind of has this spirit where she's easily to grab onto. You're definitely gonna love her. She speaks kind of soft and she's just so sweet. Um, so I met her passing out food to neighborhood kids one day
mm,
inside of a park, right? And she's out there, and we're in the hood now, right? And she's out there, hey, you want a burger? You want a hot dog? Passing out food. Um, and then I learned that she was a professor at Trinity College. And I'm like, like, what is that, right? So this so just thinking about, the people that care enough to leave their comfort of their own home, right? And their lifestyle, and to come into a place that's been so victimized for all these years and say, I want to do my part. People like that I love.
mm,
And whenever I call Miss Raskin, for anything, she's like, Larry, when and where, and that's how she is. So having her put her element in the book around the brain science around trauma, right? And thinking about, okay, well, the injury happens, but what happens to the brain behind it all? And how does that all play a part into your healing process? So now we have the medical lens, then we have my lens of the actual trauma itself. And now the brain is doing something, right? And then what's happening. So to have her kind of give her view on it all, I, I thought, and I think it's a great book actually, but looking at the entire spectrum of the physical, medical lens, the trauma in the street lens, and then a brain science lens, you have the whole picture that's there in a great, great way. So, yeah,
yes.
think both of them. Looking back now, I'm not sure if the book would have been as complete without those two points in the book for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, they made great additions. Is there anything you want to share about the writing process? Anything else or any advice you have for people who are looking to write their story and any tips for people in
Yeah,
that
definitely.
situation?
Definitely. So one, I would say just start making your notes, right? And just put down notes and dates of everything. Thankfully, I can recall everything in my life, so I was able to go to certain dates and moments and I can kind of feel the air. So,
Mm,
so that was easy on my end. But I would say make some notes, date it, and then also write down like what does that note mean to you in the moment. That's
mm,
one. And then two, give yourself some some space to actually feel how you feel. Because I had a hard time because I was like, why am I crying right now? Right. And I'm breaking down crying and I just didn't understand like why that was happening. And because there'd be a part in the book where it's just something simple and I'll be busting in tears. I'm like, what's going on? And I think it was just all the stuff that I'm thinking about, and And when that pain hits you, you can't do nothing about it. So having yourself, know that that's okay, right? And if you do have to have some time to kind of take a step back, then you do so. But whatever you do, just keep on doing it, and then find you a Liz Hill that can help you really though, like formulate the process, and I think that you gave me the confidence of just knowing that, okay, well, if I can do it in steps and I can kind of, and having your help saying, hey, all right, well, we're here now, we got to go here. That helped me out a whole lot too. So yeah.
Is there anything else you want to let our listeners know? Anything else you wanted to share with them?
So if I can say that in the book, there's so many folks that I came across along the way, right? Family, friends, my kids, my siblings, my god kids, my cousins, um, work folks I've met over the years, and um, I could have written two books because there's so much to really to cover.
Hmm.
And I had tried to really to capture everything, but I just couldn't get everybody, in every moment put in the book. But if you do know me, then you know how I am and I care. And I'm so thankful to have you in my world, in my life. This journey has been up and down. And I believe that I'm who I am today because of the folks that I know, the friends I have, the people I know. And I always say that I know some of the best people in the world. And I actually believe that I know some really, really great people. And it's those of you that, that's just been in my corner for all these years that helped me get here today. So um thank you for all your support and all your love. And in the book, there isn't anything I meant to have anyone feel a way about. It is my story, it is my truth. And I hope that if things are not, if it doesn't sound that way, I hope that there's a way to find something good to hold on to from the book that can kind of help you out as well. Yeah.
Beautiful words, and so wonderful to get to see how you have moved through this, how you've persevered and sorted yourself out when you needed to cry and take time for it, and get to this place to share your story with the world, and how in support of helping people heal themselves, healing communities, because it takes all of us coming together to do that. And your book, we people can purchase on Amazon. It's there as paperback and ebook. They can also connect with you directly as well. What is the best way for people to reach you or connect with you?
So this is kind of bold, but call me, right? 860-416-1322. I
Mhm.
answer my phone all day anyway. So if you want to call me, text me. And then also on Facebook, I'm at Larry Love on Facebook, and then the Healing Culture on there as well too. So, but yeah, but just call me, text me. Can go wrong that way.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today, Larry.
Thank you, and let's keep on making this world great, one person at a time. But thank you there so much.
That's great.